So today is closing day. My client is on her way to close on a house that she's never seen before. I don't do this too often, but every now and then I have a client that isn't living in the city, and I have to source out a property for them, FaceTime them viewings, and hopefully they don't cry and want to run away screaming when they get here. Hopefully she loves it.
That's rude.
Oh, that's the basics.
That's nice.
Yeah, like it's all in really good shape. I mean, like, you know, the homeowners, they took really good care of it.
Yeah.
There's a couple of documents that they're after sending, like receipts and stuff like that from the home inspection that they take care of.
Okay. Oh, this is cute.
Yeah, this would be sweet for Amelia.
It's a nice bedroom for her, yeah.
Yeah,
She'll love this with the
window bench.
yes and a little shelving. I think we can work with it.
I thought that it was cute. It's nice. It looks well taken care of. And I really love the location. So that was the main selling point for us. So I'm really happy with the neighborhood and the flat lot. And yeah, I was happy first.
Why we are getting a new survey right now.
It's light, isn't it?
Well, Park 21 is moving along great. We're to the point now we are going to get, looks like 4 people in now prior to Christmas. So it's great. We're working hard to get that particular building completed. The site work looks completely different over the last 2 weeks. Like the construction huts are moved now. All the all the debris and stuff over there. The parking lot area is leveled out. It's soon ready for pavement. So give me a week or two, we'll have a full parking lot, and that'll be a real nice look. But things are moving along well. We are putting a model suite there that's going to be ready by the end of the month in a couple weeks. So things are going really good. The interest has been great. Now we're to the point where we've sold so many sort of off of paper and off of the vision of it. Now, the second half of a development like this is, there's a whole group of people who want to get in and see it. And so now we're starting to get all those calls and book those appointments, and people are very impressed. So it's going really well. And, we do think that now we got a chance. I wish it wasn't so late in the fall where the market sort of turns down a little bit in terms of activity, because I do think that I have enough people who want to get in and see it that I could probably pop it off pretty quick. I don't know if the market's going to give me any issues there or not, just for the time of year, but I'm expecting a real sprint to the finish here now between now and Christmas. And I have another one in my back pocket, another amazing development. I will announce it on this show. I'm just not certain about right now. I got to get the go-ahead, but I have something that will be of the caliber of a Park 21 in terms of, fit the need of the market, impressive, modern, high demand, but it's going to be probably double the size, and in my opinion, in an even better location. So really excited about that. That's going to really set up my 2017 quite well, so stay tuned.
Well, we're at another open house event. We just don't do public open houses. This is the grand opening of Premier Mortgage Center, and big supporters of the real estate industry in general and our preferred brokers of choice. So today is their grand opening of their expansion into Newfoundland. So we're going to go on inside and say hello to the brokers and the brass that's in town and see what's going on.
I'm Don McVicker, president of Premier Mortgage. All over Eastern Canada. Started Premier with my brother Dave 11 years ago. We were many years in the banking business. Looked at the future of the mortgage brokerage business, and we felt it was time for us to open up in Atlantic Canada. So I moved from Toronto 11 years ago with my brother Dave, and here we are 11 years later with about 120 brokers in 5 provinces. Well, Hanlon Group, Shane, Bruce, and I have been friends for a decade, and we had the pleasure of working together. He had his own mortgage brokerage working with Hanlon, and this year we merged. We rebranded as Premier Mortgage, and Shane, of course, is truly focused now on Hanlon, and we've taken over the mortgage portfolio, and the mortgage team that was over with Shane.
In this day and age, if you're not growing, you're dying. And Don and I have been friends for quite some time and have had a lot of conversations at our national conferences and regional conferences every year. And he wanted to really expand into Newfoundland. It's a big part of the Atlantic market. And he had a little presence here, but not a big enough one. And I was moving on into more of a real estate role, and leading companies. And, you know, if you can't beat them, join them. And Don was just a natural choice. And once we got together, I realized that he had the bigger and better operation, which is better for the brokers that work with Acme and the clients that we represent and our sources like Hanlon Realty and pretty much every real estate brand in town. Those realtors are a great source of mortgage referrals, and especially first-time home buyers. So once Don and I got talking, it just took on a life of its own, and I'm very proud of my former group and an affiliation with Premier, and these guys are going to do great things for clients in the Newfoundland market.
As slow as some of the business has been the last couple of years, we all know that there's a lot of great growth ahead of us, so we're really excited about collaborating. On the real estate side and obviously the mortgage financing side, they go hand in hand, and great partnerships, so we're really excited about that.
Hey everyone, I'm Robin Stairs from Decorating Den Interiors. It's great to have inspiration for the style that you want to achieve in a space, whether it's from a boutique hotel you visited or a place you love to relax at, like the beach. But don't go too literal with that inspiration. If you want a beachy vibe, you don't need starfish on your walls. Go for something like beautiful artwork painted on wood slabs for some extra texture. Or look at using some colors that are reminiscent of the beach, like the beautiful corals and blues found in this custom bedding. You'll have a much more sophisticated style of design as a result.
This portion of Open House NL has been brought to you by Hickey's Timber Mart, serving you from 3 locations: Harbour Main, CBS, and St. John's.
Hi, I'm Dave from Hot Tub Pros. Come see the most energy-efficient hot tubs on the market today. These premium hot tubs come with a lifetime guarantee and a complete auto-clean system. You can have your very own hot tub delivered and installed by our professional and friendly staff. We also carry a full line of hot tub products and accessories, including the Spa Marvel Natural Enzyme Hot Tub Water Conditioner. Hot Tub Pros, 189 Glencoe Drive, Mount Pearl, 364-8827.
Your home. It's the place you come back to, and a place that never leaves you. At Cohen's Home Furnishings, this is our home too. Since 1919, we've been proud to be a part of the most special place in your heart. Cohen's, where the home is.
I'm Ken Peckham. I'm a certified professional inspector. I'm the owner of Republic Inspections. We are a 100% local Newfoundland company. Growing up, my dad was always very handy, and he started to renovate his small bungalow that we lived in, and I became the little assistant. And over the years, I just grew to like doing home renovations, construction, and I liked the knowledge of how everything kind of pieced together and how things were built and put together. And over time, I just liked that aspect of it. Then I had friends of mine purchase a property. They did have a home inspection done. However, some items that they should have known about, they weren't informed by that home inspection. And my consensus was that there was some home inspectors out there that weren't really doing a good, thorough job. So I thought it would be an opportunity there to do a thorough inspection for buyers.
We're talking about home inspections today and how they can affect you or not. I had an inspector do a inspection on a bungalow. It was around this time of the year, late November, early December, bit of snow around. So I got a call from the guy when the inspection was done. Was following up for my client, said, how's things looking? Oh, not too bad, Wayne, but the roof is going to need to be replaced. And I said, what do you mean the roof needs to be replaced? He said, well, the shingles look really bad on the roof. So I figured I'd give the homeowner a call and chat with them, my clients, great people. So I called them up and I said, inspector is telling me that there's issues with your roof. And he said, Wayne, I find that hard to believe because we just had the roof reshingled 3 months ago. I said, really? He said, yeah. It turns out that the inspector was not on the roof. He'd just taken some pictures from the ground, and I guess he couldn't get a good feel for what was going on. So you got to be very careful on who you hire. There are great inspectors in the city, and I guess like every business, there's some that are not so great. So make sure you're dealing with a qualified professional, such as Ken here.
I developed the inspection routine that I do. We are internationally certified and follow those certifications for every inspection that we do. We also follow the home inspection addendum that every agent has their buyer sign.
Yeah, which is a huge part of our contracts. So when we sell a house, we recommend to our clients, whether it's a new home, an existing home, anything, even if you're going to renovate it, get a proper home inspection done so you know where your issues may or may not lie, whether it be new or old. Like I say, it's majorly important. So we always have them sign this form, which is very important. It's a home inspection addendum developed by the real estate board and some local realtors, and it's majorly important when you're buying or selling a property.
And I don't see a dimension there, but I mean, if that's
Yeah.
10 feet,
That could be a deal breaker.
It's probably at least
Pardon?
20.
That could be a deal breaker.
Oh, yeah, could it?
Oh, yeah.
No. Well, it's certainly something you would
We need
have
a shed.
to very closely consider.
So my client's father-in-law just wanted me to come and see something in the backyard that he's pretty concerned about. So I'm gonna go check it out. I don't know what it is, but he seems pretty alarmed. So hopefully we don't have to hit the panic button and kind of assess the situation, see what's up.
Seeing the surveyors come in was a little bit of a concern, because when they put the markers down, we thought that was the size of the land, which cut off basically the whole yard that we thought we had, which is small to begin with, and that would have been a deal breaker. So we're anxious to hear back from the surveyors to make sure that the land is what we originally thought. So we definitely need we need all the land.
Like, we won't jump to conclusions. We'd have to wait for the
Yeah.
report to come back from the surveyor.
So if it came, okay, I'm on.
Yeah, so, sorry, if it comes back that the,
Oh, sorry.
that the boundary is right there,
Mm.
there's a couple things you can do.
Well, we need
right?
to ask the surveyor what in the hell those are there for.
Well, we'll see it on the report, so that's why we're gonna stand by for the
Because
report.
look, that says you've got 11 feet on the side of the house. That marker there is only about 4 feet from the house.
So
Yeah, so
just
what,
say that
So
it is our land.
According
fine.
to what appears to be the survey, he's lost the
Can we
strip down
still
the
put up
side
a
as well.
shed?
yeah, here's what we'll do in the event that there's an issue with that. So
Just wait and see, I guess. Looks like he's just putting his camera there.
he's finding the corner probably. So we don't want to jump, first of all, we're not going to jump to
No.
conclusions and worry about it. We're going to talk about what we can do in the event that that is the boundary.
Okay.
If that is the boundary,
Yeah.
the value of the property is going to go down,
Yeah.
right? So you have one of two options, or one of three options. One, you take it as it is, which no, we don't want to do that. Two, how much of the value of the property have we lost? That would come off the price of the house, what you pay for it.
Well, you have
Or
to
three,
renegotiate, basically.
right, they may agree or may not agree. And the third option is you have the right to walk away from the deal. So
Until when?
until, what do you mean?
Well, today was the walkthrough for the final, so is that, when was the deal closed?
The deal closes after we okay everything today.
Okay, so.
So we're not gonna okay everything
Okay.
until Kate and Peter see the final survey.
Perfect,
So they may be using that, we don't know, none of us are surveyors, so we can't tell what they're doing right now.
I think it'll probably work out okay in the end. I think these are just pegs that the surveyors are using intermediately until they come to their final. Very hard to get into the corners here, and look, we're okay. So that causes some concern, but we think we're gonna be okay.
When you purchase real estate, it may seem like a bit of a roller coaster, and every time you turn around, somebody wants more money for something. So you're going to ask your law firm for an estimate of total costs, and they'll give you an estimate of their total costs. There are also closing adjustments which can be worked out as we move along. So things like the cost of property tax through to the end of the current tax period is going to have to be paid on closing. The cost of fuel, which may be in a propane tank or an oil tank, is going to have to be paid on closing. There may be an adjustment in your favor from the seller for prepaid rent that they've collected in advance, or for a damage deposit which they've collected in advance. Once the damage deposit is adjusted to your favor, then you owe it. You need to keep your eyes and ears open and ask questions as you move along, because all these costs are going to come at you, and at the end of the day, you got to have money to pay it.
This portion of Open House NL has been brought to you by Premier Mortgage Center. Your mortgage, your insurance, your terms.
Hey everyone, did you know that making a major purchase like buying a car can jeopardize your mortgage approval? Always keep in mind, your approval is based on your current income and credit on the day we submitted your application. Don't put your approval at risk. So, no major purchases, no missed payments on your current debt, and most importantly, don't quit your job.
I think what we need to do is we need to, like once the new survey comes in from John Williams later today, we have to take that and compare that to what was put in the listing, right? Because that would be one of the first key issues here, to compare the new survey with any older survey that would have been provided or has been part of the listing. So that would be the first issue really there to look at, is too, because obviously that's going to be the key to compare what was advertised versus what's been sold.
So there was no need to hit the panic button. After all, what my client's father-in-law saw was a survey marker that had been put in place for the surveyor to complete the survey. So the end of the property line wasn't right next to the house, which would leave them with no backyard. Thankfully, they'll have room to put their shed with all their stuff in it. So it worked out.
Oh, okay. Okay, so we're good.
Crisis averted.
Crisis averted.
Onward. We did it.
Well sold, Tiffany.
Tiffany Butt is an amazing realtor. We loved working with her. She was always easy to get a hold of and answered all of our questions. She made sure that any concerns or issues we had were addressed. She was great to work with, and we love her and her spunk, and it was fun. It was good.
I've seen many cases where you do a home inspection and it comes down to the buyer being informed on what you can and can't do on that inspection. They're basically not looking for cosmetics in the property, and sometimes you'll see like nail pops or a cracked frame or something, or scratches on the floor.
Exactly.
Those are not the issues you're really looking at it.
That's something that the buyer can see when they do their initial walkthrough through the property. And again, that's not a major structural or mechanical item there. It's not a safety-related concern, and it's not going to impede their ability to get financing or insurance.
Exactly, and that's something I guess I know actually that should really be explained properly to the home buyer and the home seller up front before they get into a contract and they know what the home inspection report is all about. Our realtors at Hanlon go through it in theory with them, so we know when we have an issue, if we do have an issue, we know how to address the problems for all parties involved.
There's a massive difference between real estate in Canada and the United States, just in terms of how the system works. Like, we use lawyers to transfer deed and stuff, and they just have escrow companies there. Like, the process in terms of how the deposit money's kept, how the mortgage money's transferred, how mortgages work. Like, mortgages in the United States are 30, 35, 25-year terms. Not just, we use small terms, long amortization. Basically, everything from top to bottom is different. It's just enough similarities that it can sort of work. I mean, I'd spend a lot of time in the U.S. doing training and coaching and stuff, and you sort of always have to pick the bones out of it and find the underlying commonalities in stuff, but basically the mechanics of how it operates is just completely different. In Canada, we've always had a lot of checks and balances for approvals on lending, and because of that, there hasn't been any type of major crashes and stuff here, because you're not letting anybody into a mortgage and into a property. But in the U.S., I mean, it was a point you could have no income, no job, and bad credit and still get a mortgage and stuff. So it was just completely open, no checks and balances, and the system got overloaded with all these subprime mortgages, and because of that, they eventually collapsed and stuff, right? So I mean, there's some real good literature there. So anybody who worries about like a collapse in real estate here locally or in Canada, it's impossible for that to happen the way it happened in the U.S. because the mechanics are so different. They were subprime, unregulated loans that crashed their market. We don't even have access to that in Canada. So the fundamentals are completely different.
This portion of Open House NL has been brought to you by the Franklin Hotel, in the heart of the downtown of St. John's.
Rustler's Family Restaurant. Delicious home-style meals and more. Made in-house, just like Mom used to make. Rustler's Family Restaurant, next to Breakers, the local, in the Fall River Plaza. And don't forget the all-day breakfast. Rustler's Family Restaurant.
It's pretty amazing that you can actually have a relationship with somebody who is, you know, your colleague, but she's also still your competitor. I mean, we all are independently, I guess we're all independent realtors. So the fact that we have such a close bond and a really good support system, especially as women, is pretty impressive. And Tiffany certainly is somebody that no matter what, we can kind of count on to help with different things. She's got a really great network and a really strong personality that no matter what can help brighten your day.
I think that because we grew up having such a open and friendly relationship, that it's transpired into this wonderful working environment where we have that respect on a friend level as well as a family level. You know, we treat each other like professionals, but you know, it's a family, so you can expect those heated debates. You know, my dad's getting quite clever at calling his lawyer, you know, after hours and talking about family things and sticking in that, you know, free legal advice where he can. So we all get along very well. You know, we're a family and families have their tiffs, but I would think that it's a great relationship that we have.
Park 21 was a huge success. I mean, we sold that out without much issue. We did have a couple sales that were subject to other homes selling that didn't sell, so we did have a couple to bring to the market this fall, and which we did. We sold one a little while back. Closes now in December. We actually have an offer coming to me within the next hour for our model suite that we put on the market. We felt that we were close enough that we could put our Park 21 model suite on the market, and within no time that's been accepted. So that project has been, by all accounts, a huge success. And just last week, the Canadian Home Builders Association had their annual Berg Awards, and Park 21 won, you know, best new home under 1,500 square feet. It won new home marketing of the year. It won condo multifamily home of the year. So, I mean, it's been recognized by the industry and by our peers as a smash hit as well. So, like I said, that was really an excellent project, and it was new. So when we were really excited about it when we launched it, but you know, at the same time a little bit nervous because there hadn't really been too much like that before in terms of, you know, common use parking lot, townhomes that were modern, just a different product. And we assumed that the market was going to accept it, but you're never 100% certain. And the fact that we were right is a good feeling.